It is the countdown of the Blue Planet Berlin Water Dialogues 2021. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants here live from the studio in Berlin. A warm welcome to you. And we want to have a little wrap up of your breakout session. So we're going to switch together with the breakout ambassadors now into our wrap up. And I'd like to introduce you now to the ambassadors. We have Richard Festner with us. He was the responsible breakout ambassador for the session 6, how to support circular economies with innovative wastewater treatment. We have Jochen Rabe with us from the breakout session number 7, digital water governance. What are the challenges associated with digitalization in the water sector? We have, of course, Julia Braune with us from the breakout session number 8, smooth operators building utilities resilience to climate, COVID, and other crises. And we're gonna see if from the breakout session number 5, we have Timon Meyer with us, as I just heard it, how open source standards can boost the development of smart solutions. So all the 4 breakout session ambassadors are with us now for a quick update. And Timon Meyer, I would like to start with you. What has been the hottest topic in your breakout?
Oh, wow. Hi, Katie. Thank you so much. Let me see. Give me a couple of seconds because I tried to jot down a couple of things. All right, here we go. So in 1 to 2 minutes, I would probably say this. Our session topic was how open source standards can boost the development of smart solutions. And summing up briefly, just a couple of key takeaways for me personally. I think the integration of the physical world of water and digital technology is still very much early stage, but we have very high expectations that that's going to change quickly. From what I learned, it is certainly an increasingly pivotal to integrate technology, hardware, and soft skills, and then sort of throw that melange into the mix and create and expedite processes that ensure smooth correlation in order to create winning future business models and interactions. So the right alignment seems to be essential. The whole endeavor is all about creating synergies. And then at the core, it is vital to build a sound information architecture designed to, again, integrate every aspect and every body involved, break up silos and enhance interoperability. And in this context, I especially loved an example Rebecca used. There's no AI without IA, so no artificial intelligence without proper information architecture. And that sort of applies to all the concepts involved. You need a proper set of tools before you can start integrating. How's that?
Thank you. That's great. Thank you so much, Timon Meyer. Thank you for wrapping up your breakout session. Just heading straight to Richard Festner, breakout session number 6. What has been discussed in your breakout session?
So our speaker was Professor Francesco Fatone, and I would sum it up like this in my words. Francesco answered the question, can we turn an urban wastewater treatment plant into an urban resource recovery plant? And actually his investigations showed, yes, it's possible to renovate existing wastewater treatment plants and upgrade them toward closing the circular value chain by essentially recovering materials that are otherwise lost. And Francesco also showed how this impacts, the individual water bill, how that impacts the energy efficiency, and of course, also a reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. So he had a lot of technology here. Please, go to YouTube after this session and watch the video. I can't sum it up, but it was great, super audience. So thank you for joining that one.
I hear it's been really intense. So thanks again for wrapping it up. And of course, thanks also for your tip. Of course, all the breakout sessions will be also available online as a video on demand. Everything is recorded. So ladies and gentlemen, you can rewatch everything. Everything will be available as a video on demand, just as a note on the site. Jochen Rabe was also with us in the breakout session. So what is your main takeaways from your breakout session?
Well, we were looking at governance, and as I indicated already in my talk, this is one of the key bottlenecks, and that was very much confirmed by our two colleagues from Ecologic. We were focusing a little bit more on sort of the bottlenecks, or the particular bottlenecks of the many in there, and the colleagues introduced sort of the inadequate sort of policy tech fit. Quite often we see technology developed and the policy is lacking behind, or is just not fitting. And I think that's also confirmed by talks I had lately with state secretaries who said, well, everyone is complaining that this is not possible, this is not possible, but I actually need to know what I need to regulate differently to make it work. So I think there's a major disconnect, which also has very much to do with the weak value propositions of it. Quite often, and probably I would also add cost propositions, because quite often our infrastructure systems are cost-driven, not necessarily value-driven. But to make the case, actually, for both costs, long-term investment cycles, and also the value it has, not just for the balance sheets, is something which still needs to happen big time. And then finally, maybe the question came up from one of the audience is the sort of the disconnect of the water and the digital policies particularly bad compared to others? And I think there was a cautious yes, because mobility, for example, and digitalization, that has gone on for a lot longer already. So a lot to do, and have a look at the presentations. They're very worth having a look at.
Thank you very much for your wrap up. Jochen Rabe, thanks again for being with us this afternoon. And last but definitely not least, Julia Braune, what has been discussed in your breakout session?
Yeah, our session was about building utilities resilience to climate, COVID, and other crises. And we had a great impulse from Julie Perkins from the Global Water Operators Alliance, who told us what smart characteristics are important for water utilities today and in the future from her point of view. And yeah, to sum it up, a smart water utility has to be inclusive, green, sustainable, and of course, resilient. And she pointed out that the key pillar to achieve all this is capacity, together with governance and finance, of course, but capacity is something of the most important aspects. And as she put it, there is no silver bullet to achieve this, but different promising approaches. And one of them is water operator partnerships for capacity building. They can lead to becoming more smart for utilities. And when asked what is in it for the already smarter utilities who form these partnerships with those who need more support, maybe, she said it's a personally rewarding experience, something that is also fun in working together, and a broadening and good experience, and also an HR strategy. So there's a lot in it.
Thank you so much, Julia Braune, Jochen Rabe, Richard Festner, and of course, last but not least, Timon Meyer. Thanks again for participating, actually, and for being involved in the breakout session.